Good morning on this, I think it's May 27th, 2025. A friend of mine inspired this musing this morning as they were participating in a comment about Jesus reflecting the nature of God, that he was loving and nonviolent. And that is a fictitious, made-up concept of the mind, of the subconscious, of what we want Jesus to be. Nobody has ever lived with him when he walked the earth, and he was quite the nasty piece at times, calling people names and going and overthrowing other people's property and whipping them out of the temple. Nobody knows what Jesus was like. He was a human being just like you. And as human beings, we have our moments. Right? Sparky, come here. As human beings, we have our moments. And Jesus certainly had his moments. We err if we're constantly trying to project what we think is God's nature and project it onto Jesus and fabricate this caricature of wishful thinking, right? You haven't walked with him, and whatever you may be experiencing through dreams and visions is subconscious psychological information that your mind is making up based on what your psyche needs Jesus to be, right? And so we have people saying all these things about Jesus, how loving, how he reflects the perfect love of God. Well, that's not true. That's not true. My point here is we need to be honest and at least admit that these imaginations are our own. These imaginations we have of the person of Jesus, they are our own making. They are of our own psychic imagination and fabrication, right? What appears to you as Jesus is merely your own soul reflecting or mirroring that which it desires you to be, you to become, right? So you get a mirror reflection in your psychic space of this character of Jesus, which is a subconscious and subjective reflection of that which you lack and that which you hope for. It's your soul's longing for a loving reality. It's your soul's longing for a peaceful, comforting presence. And so it projects it onto the screen of your third eye as the character of Jesus that you want to be in relationship with. But your soul is really asking you to come into relationship with yourself within these attributes that you keep projecting on Jesus. Your soul wants to become that and enter into this loving, peaceful state within yourself. Make peace within yourself, as Ephesians 2:14 says. But for that you need to break down the middle wall of partition in your brain, in your two consciousnesses, the conscious and the subconscious mind, right? You have to dissolve the cognitive dissonance within yourself, where your mind says one thing but your soul says another. You have to bring those two things into agreement. And that which your soul and your mind want to agree upon is love and peace. But you can only experience that reality in the character or persona of Jesus. Right? That is your mirror. That is your symbol for that which your soul craves, for that which you are meant to become once you dissolve that hostility within yourself, that enmity, that dissonance, that cognitive dissonance, right? Then you become that, and you no longer have to live on these imaginary visions of the perfect man, when in fact it's your soul crying to be that perfect man, that perfect person. Right? So, that's just what I want to say. Our mind makes up characteristics about God that it secretly wishes and hopes for. You are. And you can become that if you dissolve the opposition within yourself.